Talk to me specifically about the downtown project, right? Like this, we've talked about the Pearl Street District in the past on the show. I think it's a good kind of refresher to hit on when you're telling your wife about it. What are you telling her we're doing in downtown Jacksonville?
Yeah, it's pretty exciting what we're doing there, and she has the benefit, and I was we the benefit of seeing the master planning process we've been going through, which is just awesome to see. So we had a second home in Tampa 10 years ago or so for 4 or 5 years, and so I saw Water Street in Tampa. I used to hang out there quite a bit. I lived 10 minutes from there, and so going there when we first got involved with Alex in downtown, which came with him pitching me to invest a few $1 million as a high net worth individual into his downtown fund. That's how it started. He was pitching me to be a few $1 million kind of passive investor into his fund. And as I started digging into it, I said, I'm, thinking quite a bit bigger, Alex. We committed to doing 2/3 of the capital. So, but part of the process, we flew down to Tampa with Brian, who's our CEO of Gateway Jacks, which is the development company Alex and I, or JWB and I own together. And we flew down to Water Street, and I hadn't been there in 4 or 5 years, and saw the transformation that happened on Water Street, and saw the master planning that went on there, and how they completely transformed that into a vibrant place where people want to live and want to play, and where you're going to attract young people to come, which then become those who start families and stay in the area, and those who then start businesses. And it was very easy to see what happened there, that we have an even bigger canvas to do in Jacksonville, and to see what that's going to look like there. It was a great way to see it firsthand, and then going through the process of hiring basically the same planning team that did that project to come in and help us design what we're going to do in the Pearl District. It was easy to start visualizing that and start seeing how amazing that's going to be, and to see what it's going to be like when you got a Publix type anchor downtown, right? And you got vibrant, awesome, incredible restaurants and bars and breweries and beer gardens, and you have an activated water area, and you have really cool place to live, and rooftop hangout areas, and you can start seeing what that's going to feel like, and some of the great work that's already happening. And that's the other cool thing we haven't really talked about, is we've got a city that is supporting this, right? They've provided us already $100 million in support, and who are pro business, pro development, providing the incentives to really make these projects work. And they've already started a number of really cool projects and committed a lot of money to the infrastructure that's needed to support, private developers like us. And so, yeah, so it's exciting. And the last thing I'll kind of throw out in terms of Pearl Street, that I think it's kind of part why we picked Pearl Street, not the real reason, but it doesn't hurt, is Brian and I, and I think some other people involved as well, but Brian and I both, when we started talking about it, both have spent a decent amount of time out in Boulder. And if you ever been out in Boulder, on Pearl Street in Boulder, it is awesome. I think it's the best downtown kind of walkable street in the country. It's my
Interesting.
favorite, and it's just awesome. So that tie-in of it being the Pearl District is pretty cool. But being able to go to places like there, and to give you an idea, I was telling you this before this, I virtual school my kids, and we have a teacher who travels with us, and it gives a lot of flexibility. So we've been to 37 US cities this year, 4 or 5 different countries, et cetera. And so we've been this year in Jackson Hole, we've been to Boulder, we've been, to Whitefish, we've been to La Jolla, we've been to all over San Diego, we've been in Austin, we've been in Dallas, we've been in Atlanta, we've been in Miami, we've been in Palm Beach, we've been, to all these different places with great downtowns, right? And so being able to see these different awesome downtowns, it helps you be able to visualize what Jacksonville is going to be, and what a transformation that's going to make to the broader area.
Man, it's so you talk about it very casually, but the epicness of what you guys are doing and the scale at which you're working at is truly, it's so unique that I feel like I have to kind of like dumb it down and explain it for folks. Basically, Don just said that he's looking at a city like a canvas and looking at other cities and trying to figure out in their downtowns what works for them, what is super livable, what you can somewhat, steal like an artist, right? Like copy, implement, and do it in a city. Then, your team and JWB formed a company together that went out and hired a team that has done this at another city at this scale level, brought them to Jacksonville, and you're now essentially building a neighborhood all at once. And it is a downtown urban neighborhood that includes mixed use development, residential, commercial, public spaces, hospitality, a hotel, like restaurants and shops, and is creating a neighborhood scale experience from the ground up.
Oh, and
And
by the way, UF's coming.
oh, yeah. Yeah, and went out and recruited the what like the what Wall Street Journal has called the top public institution in the country to build a graduate program around AI and fintech and healthcare tech in order to feed the talent level. It's such an alien thing to say that one can do this because it needs such a confluence of things, right? Like it needs a city that is ready for it, that has a public sector that is willing to support it at the level that it needs to support because it's such a long bet for the private sector to do that it needs the public sector to buy in. It needs the space to do it in. It needs an economy that can support this thing. And then it needs this like very particular set of folks that have the unique combination of capital, skill set, and core values of like that can align on this vision to create this like unique place. I find it incredible, man.